there an update on TJ Simmons?
He got like a knee that needed to be scoped, so he'll be out for probably the bulk of spring here as far as remaining practices. So minor deal, but kind of Jordan Howard, kind of a minor deal, but just a little knee cleanup deal.
All right, guys.
Is that it?
No.
It's Masters Week. Honor of Coach Hebner. Coach Hebner always wore his green pants on Masters Monday.
Green pants?
Green, old school. Put his little Greg Norman hat on. It was Masters Week.
Charlie Hoffman, 400.
Who is?
Charlie Hoffman.
Oh.
I like it.
Phil had a birdie early.
Saw him playing down in Lauderdale last year. Place good deal.
What do you need to see from your defensive coverage standpoint, and in particular the cornerbacks?
A lot because they're not. We haven't been good last year at receiver, and then we're graduating some of those DBs. And at the same time, we got better defensively. We still pass D needs to clean up. But I'm so concerned that we continue to run the ball consistent and be a better run defense. I've told our defense, let's don't protect the coverage so much, because sometimes you're a good run defense because you're committed to stopping the run. That leaves those guys on the island, and we could get really coverage oriented and really protect the back end and give guys help. But then to me, you start dying those slow deaths because you're not as numbered, gap sound, where you've out-gapped, out-structured, out-leveraged the offense. So really it's just, some guys out there making some plays one-on-one. That's why we do some stuff. And even, I know you guys are getting summer practice, but we do just a fair amount of some one-on-one, two-on-two, defend a bubble, defend a quick screen, defend passing. And but that, to me, there's a lot of things we need to do to have a chance to be a really good team. But skill development in the perimeter, both offense and defense, needs to step up. And maybe it's going to have to be some of these young guys. There's always growing pains with young guys. But with Padmore and Fant and our Fort Wayne guy, Donovan Clark's had a little gimpy back, so he's been a little limited. It's not major, but he's a little limited now. So we need those corners to come through.
And then Mullen, obviously, was dealing with the knee stuff.
Yeah, and he's actually looked pretty good, though. And when he gets out going, he's done a little more than we think. But that one sure also doesn't hit. But he's actually showed up, and he and Fan have shown up with some plays on the ball. We got to be, but again, you just get out there one-on-one enough, you break down. It's a couple, and I read a quote the other day from a coach that said you can't be there's no such thing as an average DB coach or an average corner, because if you get beat enough, when an offensive lineman gets beat, like Coach Stoops used to say, hey, when your offense messes up, y'all get the punt. When the defense messes up, they give up touchdowns, and especially on the back end. But we've tried to really go slow this spring, and even though we need that secondary to develop, and I think it's making strides, I still want to commit so much to playing better run defense that I'm not going to be psychotic and get cute with pass coverage that we don't keep talking about toughness and tackling and playing better run defense.
What do you see from the
Don't sacrifice that to help the DBs right now.
Talked about the corners. What about the safeties? You have a couple of kids that played a little bit more there.
Yeah, Dutras came through, and Antonio a year ago misses, all spring, really coming through off the knee. Kind of like Kenny, where he could do some stuff, but not really. So, now he's played. Now he's had a full winter. So both those guys are now in their fourth semester, the veterans. But we need Mario Swan, who's a transfer from Eastern Michigan, a Center Grove kid, has looked good. He walked on leaving Eastern, but a Center Grove, Indiana kids look good for us. We got Tony Fields, Keontae Walton back there. So we need some depth to come through, because those guys show up enough in the fray that you can get some friendly fire. And do you have those two? I think those are two really good safeties. Antonio has probably played his best and been the best. Chase has been probably the leader and the best winner. But we need, I think, more than just two. Even those two solid guys right now, they need to continue to mature. They need to continue to develop. And we really need to see these young guys keep coming along. We recruited 4 or 5 guys that will be playing back there.
From a health standpoint, you got a few guys banged up. Anything that's real long term, or just
like Jordan put his hand down, hyperextended the elbow, and he'll miss 3-4 weeks. And that kind of takes him out of spring. He's done well. We got to continue to bring him on. He's doing good. No problems this year. Flash. Again, it's young to our program, just the consistency and TJ Simmons, got a little knee that required a scope, so it's not a major deal. But again, it'll take a couple 3 weeks, and we're down to 2.5 weeks of practice. So you're losing. You got Marcus Oliver is getting some work. Chris Covington's getting some work in our team, but they're like Kenny. They do some stuff, but they really can't go to the ground or tackle or really go to the full go stuff. So some of those guys get you a little thin, but what that does is get a bunch of reps for Zeke Walker that we got out there, a lot of reps for Damian Willis, a lot of reps for Greg Gooch, and so T. Gray Scales. So we're complementing that with some of our younger walk-on players. Kyle Luschel has done well for us as a walk-on. Kenny Arnold, a freshman walk-on, helping us. So they're getting reps. That's always good for the walk-on guys. We don't want to overbeat our old guys, but it's really helped Damian and Zeke Walker and those guys get a bunch of plays so far. Clyde Newton's looked good as well. So a little bit of depth there, but it is a little thin to see who else. One kid, Hawkins, broke his wrist. I think he's cleared April 29th, so missed the spring. Sean Damasco, one of our tight ends, fifth guy's got a back. It's been a little good. Donovan Clark's coming off a back, which is a little ginger. Sometimes he's good. The next day he's been a little inconsistent with just a low back deal. So nothing major. Knock on wood. It's practice 7 and a decent go today.
What is the progress of Greg Gooch at linebacker?
Gooch?
Yeah.
Good. I really think, though, prior to his knee, T.J. Simmons was the best he had been, and that was good. There's competition, too, there. And we got to get to the point with our team where competition's good, and we embrace competition, and we fight and stay through competition instead of, in this day and age, with some guys, you see guys, well, if it's not going good, hey, I'm going to pick another school. And so what you got at linebackers, you got some young guys like with Oliver and TJ and Gooch and Scales, and now you're going to throw Willis and Zeke Walker and Covington, 7, 8, 9 really talented guys, Raekwon Jones and Amari Stringer coming in, so the talent level's picking up, but you just like that competition going on. So Greg's done well, but TJ was having his best spring. Like I say, it's a minor deal, but he's kind of one of the hearts and souls of defense. But defense today was their best day. It was good to see.
With Mangieri and coming over the defensive line and like Sykes going to Bandit, that kind of personnel move, how's that looked?
Well, good. And Sykes actually played there last year. He was kind of a tweener, so
Right.
he went through all the fall there. Zach Shaw's been very, very good. One of the reasons we did it, because we thought with Zach and we thought with Nile that we had 2 really good players. And I think Brandon Wilson coming in might be starting at that spot. Maybe it's another athletic guy. And Nick could always go back to there, because all he's doing is he just went from here to standing up. In the position he's playing now, sometimes he can get inside the tight end, but when there's no tight end there, it's the same position he played in the 4-3 for us. So it's really not significantly different. And with him and Heffron, with Latham and Ralph, Darius Rayner's been our best D lineman to date. Him and Nate Hoff, it's too deep and it's decent. And you got some young guys. And, Robert McCray's been moving there, looks good. And Miminger and Barwick are showing good signs and moving along in a good way there.
I know you guys have a couple practices this weekend. Going to be able to watch the Masters match?
No, and I didn't realize that. I thought it was Easter weekend.
Who's the guy that planned that schedule?
The guy that plans schedules here makes some decisions I have concern with sometimes. Like, what are you thinking? So, but maybe, and hopefully somebody could be quiet enough that I could go back and go in, and because it really doesn't matter until about 4:30 on Sunday, and then it's fun. And it's really fun. But it was neat. Like last night, I had my boys sitting up here and we're watching the Golf Channel, all the hole-in-ones. I don't know if you guys saw it. There's like 4 or 5 of them. And Nicholas made his, and then all those guys, and of course I had me and my guys playing the other day, walking 9 holes. Like my 2 guys are getting old enough that golf is getting right. I don't have to chase their balls around, so that's fun. So, but with the Masters it's awesome. It's, to me, I always love, like I say, when like again what we just saw coming out of that tournament up there in Indy, when it's the biggest games and great players got to do the ordinary things and make those clutch plays and play hard under pressure and stress. And you love watching coaches do that. You love watching athletes do that. And the thing about golf, you can't hide. Sometimes, when there's 11 football guys, once a guy can blend in and try to hide when, in that world you can't. So it's a great weekend. And we're going to have 2 practices. We're actually going to just have a true scrimmage on Saturday. And our Sunday's just going to be a very slow teaching day and not come out and try to bait. And then we'll go next Tuesday and kind of work again on Wednesday or Thursday in the spring game. So it'll be just a good set. You're going to learn from this, have a nice little lift tomorrow, have a good go Saturday morning, good clean scrimmage with a lot of Big Ten refs here, and have a good go. We're going to take Sunday because of our 15 practices and use it as a teaching day, not a smash 'em head day. And then we'll get a good go next week, and we'll lead that in the spring game.
Any structure on the spring game?
Don't know. And as a matter of fact, we even talked about that. It will be practice number 12. We are reasonably far enough along because we've been here long enough with systems that we can look good, and I think we're deep enough. I don't know if we split it into a true game. Just go ones versus ones and twos versus twos. You could say it's a practice. I think we've practiced well enough. I told the coaches we'd go through Saturday, we'd go through Sunday, and then figure out next week. But we'll get started at 2 o'clock. We have a great fan experience on the front end. That day's become a great day for our fans. And because we backed up the schedule, we looked hard at going on either Thursday or Friday or Saturday of Little 5. We decided to go on Thursday night and try to open up and do some things that'll be open to the public. See if we can get a little bit of crowd and have 2 open events to go with that stuff there.
Yeah, and which is going to be probably the bigger scrimmage, the spring game or the
I would
Little
say,
Five weekend?
and when you say bigger, I would say the last one will be a pure, let's just stretch and play some ball because you're kind of wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will judge after Saturday and Sunday, okay, what do you want to do next Saturday? Is it better to do more of just an inter-squad scrimmage, or do you want to split the team? Because you won't, Spriggs and a lineman that's maybe not, is something. Again, we don't tackle those guys, but there's stuff moving around. So sometimes it's good to work your groups together. So we'll figure that out.